My name is Jason, and I'm an 8th grader who spent most of my years in SES Pudong. But what about Microcampus? Well, Microcampus is a trip organized by someone named Mr. T or Mr. Taffel, and it usually takes 16 students. However, my group only had 5, and we own the name Tactical. I chose to attend this Microcampus trip because I wanted to experience something outside of what I'm used to. I wanted to see what it was like to live life without adults always taking care of every single little thing that you do. Before our departure, we had to choose a topic of interest for a project known as the Inquiry Project. The topic that I chose was a combination of plant insect life and small business case study, and it was focused around an herbal business. After conversing with my contacts, I decided to focus on one person, and he goes by the name Mr. Zhao. Mr. Zhao is the owner of an herb store, and that is why I decided to talk with him. After my discussion with him, I realized that there are 3 main things that I have to keep in mind for me to survive as an herb entrepreneur. I must learn how to establish my business, run my business, and ensure the future of my business. Firstly, I'll need to establish my business. And the first thing that I'm going to think about is the name of my future business, and I was thinking of calling it Herb Bar. Next, I'll need a location, and I was thinking at the entrance of a large market. After having the location down, I would want to know how big my store is going to be, and I was thinking of having it 250 square feet, or 23 meters square roughly. After finding my location inside the store, I need to worry about the pricing of materials. And an example would be like plant pots with a diameter of 6 inches. Those would cost about 9 RMB each. After that, I need to know what kind of herbs I'm going to sell and what they can do. Firstly, I'd probably start off with the popular culinary herbs like cilantro and basil. After that, I can start growing, buying, and selling my own medicinal herbs. During our time, I talked to an owner of an herb store by the name of Mr. Zhao, and he told me what several of his herbs do. I plan to sell just as many as him, but I can tell you what 2 of them are going to be. One of them is quite famous and has been made into a Chinese candy that I enjoy eating. It's called shancha, or hawthorn in English. This herb is supposed to help you with digestion. The other herb that I'd probably sell is a popular candy, licorice. Now I know what you're thinking, licorice? That's not good for you. It's a ropey black candy, how is it supposed to help? But believe it or not, licorice is a plant and the roots of it can help relieve hyperlipidemia. After I have established my business, I'll need to think about operating it. When operating my business, the first thing I need to keep in mind is my work hours. I plan to open up shop at around 8 AM and close it around 9:30 PM. Next thing is competition. When it comes to selling herbs in Xizhou, there isn't too much competition as there is for selling food per se. However, there is still some competition, and I have a multitude of ways to deal with that. Firstly, I plan to try and catch my customers' attentions with video. Another strategy that I have is to build partnerships with other businesses. Final way is just befriending my customers. After that, I have to worry about advertising. When it comes to advertising, most business owners here just sit there and wait. This action was something that shocked me, and that's because in my mind, you don't attract customers unless you have something interesting. So instead of just sitting around like most of the store owners here do, I plan to advertise my products via social media, i.e. WeChat, Taobao, or my website. Finally, there's one main thing that many business owners think of, profit. Naturally, profit will fluctuate, but I will need to make sure that it covers all the costs. When it comes to restocking on my products, either I will be getting them from people who grow herbs for a living, or I'll be growing them myself. After running my business for a couple of years, I would start to think about the future of it, and the first thing that comes to mind is expansion. The reason for this is, if I'm expanding, then I'm enlarging my customer base, which can then lead to more awareness of my business, which in turn results in bigger and better expansions down the road. What I plan to do is start small. Firstly, I'll expand in Xizhou. After that, I'll move to more developed cities like Shanghai, then if I'm really successful, internationally. However, there's still some problems when it comes to expansion. If I'm not ready, I may struggle to keep up with demands. All in all, it really just comes down to how I'm doing at the time. Expansion can be a great and useful strategy, but if not timed, it could be a very foolish mistake. After thinking about expansion, I'll need to think about whether or not I want my future children to run my job, and I wouldn't want them to. Many store owners here would also say that as well. They say that their jobs are incredibly difficult and it only requires physical strength. However, some small business owners do want their children to continue their job. Reasons could be because they need the help or it's a family tradition. While I stayed here in Xizhou, I've experienced things that I wouldn't experience anywhere else. Each and every single thing that has happened to me here has made me grow as a person, and I've learned several different life lessons. I got out of my comfort zone by interacting with locals and Chinese, and that resulted in me earning a bountiful amount of information regarding how to open my own business. Obviously, I didn't learn enough for me to become incredibly successful, but I definitely learned the 3 most important benchmarks to focus on for me to survive as a plant purveyor: how to start a business, run the business, and ensure the future of it. All in all, Microcampus has pushed me through several different challenges, and through each one I grew as a person. I'm incredibly grateful for attending Microcampus, and I hope that anyone else who takes part in it will too.